Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Max and this is already episode number 10, so thank you very much. And I just came back from my vacation where I went to Percé in Gaspé. That's in Quebec, if for those geo nerds. And it was a perfect time, and as you can see I bought a beautiful t-shirt of Tintin. Does American knows about Tintin or just a French thing? Oui, 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 baguette fromage. Or maybe it's Belgian. Yeah, I have to look it up. Do American know about Tintin? Or just French? Anyway, so for today I'm playing 1-2, and at the start of my session it went really bad and I punt. I've used a lot of bullets because is it my 2-week vacation that made me a little bit more like weak, or it's just because it's the nature and sometimes I have to lose spots. But it all depends on where the situation of the hands is going. And I think for this session, and it's a good thing for you guys, is that I don't seem to know how to bluff people at 1-2 because they always tend to call me when I have the nuts. They always tend to give me donation. So when I'm bluffing, they don't even believe me again, so they're gonna call me. So I just gotta be patient and I just gotta wait for my value hand and go for the max value when I do have it, because they cannot fold. They don't know how to fold. A lot of people don't know how to fold in these games, and that's why I gotta wait. And even though sometimes after that I gotta use this to my advantage to make them pay when I either bluffing afterward, but it's super tough to bluff. And I want to know, how can I bluff sometimes, in which kind of situation, if I did my bluff correctly or not. So I want you to tell me at the end in the comments down below if my bluffs were good enough or it just like Max, sorry, that just spit. Whoa. So I want to know your thoughts in the comment down below, and let's roll. First hand of the night is Jack 9 in the bottom position. There's a straddle, and since that player didn't have a lot of money, and from the previous 5 hands, he went all in all of them. So I didn't want to raise to face another jam, so I just decided to limp as everyone else. And when he got the option, and he raised it to $15. And then everyone else called. We see a flop of King of Club, 3 of heart, and an 8 of heart. Now the straddler put at $25, the undergun plus 1 put at 25, the hijack put at 25, the cutoff put at 25. Since I'm having like a flush draw, I decided to raise it up to 125 because there was too much people and didn't show a lot of strength. So I put a raise at 125, and the straddler decided to go all in for only like $60, around that. Now the undergun plus 1 fold, and the hijack position decided to go all in for 208. So now it's not that much, it's only like $80 left, so I decided to make the call. And the villain shows Queen of Heart, 10 of Heart, and the straddler shows the 10-8 of spade. Now I thought that at least an ace would have called if he had a flush draw, but I think that a queen is high enough for people to call now these days. So that was my first punt of the day, because the river was a 7 of heart, so I needed only a jack or 9, but I dodged them. And the river is insignificant because it's a jack of spade, and he had the 10 of hearts, so I couldn't have the straight flush. My next hand, I got 10-8 of spades in the undergun plus 1 position. There's one limper, so I decided to put a raise of $15. The cutoff call, big blind calls, and the first limper call as well. Flop was Queen of Heart, Jack of Spade, and Ace of Spade. Now this is really a wet board because there's like all the faces up, and since I'm having like a flush draw as well and a 1 card for a straight, so it's a wet board. So I decided to put a bet of $20 here, so to bring up the pot since I have a flush draw, and the big blind call and the other gun call as well. Turn was an 8 of heart, and they both decided to check here. So now I want to continue my story, so I put another bet of $65, and after that the big blind decided to go all in. now facing another pressure situation because this was the villain from the previous hand who had queen high for flush. And now, since I didn't have a lot left, I thought he didn't have a king of spade for sure. And since I'm blocking a 10 for a straight, so I decided to go, even though I was like 100% sure I wasn't good in that position because I only had an 8. So technically, there's no way I'm good. So I was in a gambling position. So I decided to make the call since I didn't have a lot left. And he shows king 10 of diamond. The river was a jack of clubs, so I didn't hit my card I was supposed to hit. And second bullet doesn't go pretty well from this session. So for my next hand, if I'm not bringing up my game, I think I'm just gonna quit because I'm playing 2 hands previous hand and just went all downhill since I didn't know how to play. I think that there's a 2-week vacation, need like time off, need to like reset your clock. Anyway, now I bring up my 2 cards and I see that I have pocket queens. So thank you, God, help me with that hand or just kill me right now. Anyway, there's one straddle. The under the gun +1 decided to make a call. The low jack decided to call, cut off call. So now with a premium in the bottom position, I decided to pump it up at $40. And the under gun, low jack, and the cutoff decided to make the call. The flop was a queen of diamond, 9 of heart, and a 7 of diamond. Now there's 2 flushes here, flush draw, and like it's a wet board because they had straight draws and flush draws as well. Now they all decided to make a check, and here I decided to make 1/3 of a bet. Decided since I have queens, the top sets, I figured out if someone called, he was trying to hit a flush or a straight. And only the undergun +1 decided to make the call. So with all that in mind, I really think that he's cannot really represent kings with ace, or else he would raise pre-flop. And since I'm having 2 queens, I'm blocking queens. So either having a flush draw or straight draw, and if he had a set 9s or 7s, he would probably raise me here because he was probably scared of the diamonds. So I don't think he had 9s, I don't think he had 7, I think he had a flush draw here or a straight draw. So on the turn was a 2 of heart, and he decided to check. So now with all that in mind, I decided to bet big here to scare him off, because if he would call, now I would really think he had either sets or he's trying to catch it up. And if you want to catch it up, man, I'm gonna make him pay. Anyway, I bet 135 and he thinks a little bit but decided to make the fold. Hallelujah, it's my first hand I win of the night. My next hand I had is pocket 9 in the other gun +1 position. There's one limper, so I decided to put a bet of $15. The low jack, high jack decided to call, the bottom decided to call, the small blind, and the undergun decided to call. The flop was a 6 of club, jack of heart, and a 7 of diamond. So it was kind of a rainbow-ish flop. Anyway, everyone decided to check here. I decided to check as well since there's one higher card and there's no reason for me to bet here. Now the turn was of 8 of spades. The small blind decided to put a bet of $25. The undergun decided to call. Since I'm having a 5 or 10 for a straight, I decided to call as well. And everybody else. The river was an ace of spade here. Now this river card, I think if someone had a space, he wouldn't call on the turn. And so it was pretty much a scary card. And since I'm having 2 9s, I'm blocking pretty much the straight. So since everyone decided to check to me, I decided to bet a big bet because I'm either representing 2 pair or I'm representing a straight here. And since an ace would scare a jack, so I decided to make a big bet here, so of $100, and everyone decided to fold. So it's a nice little win. So my next hand is one of the reasons I like to play at this place. Now I have ace 3 of club in the bottom position. The middle position decided to make a raise of $15. I'm surprised that someone at least put a raise at pre-flop except me. Anyway, the hijack decided to call, cutoff decided to call. I don't think there is a reason here to bring it up a little bit more because it's not often that people decided to put a raise on pre-flop. So I just decided to make the call and see what's going to happen. The big blind calls and the straddle calls. Now the flop was a 4 of club, 2 of club, and a jack of diamond. Now that is a really good flop for me because I'm open. I'm a 1 gutter for a straight, and all the clubs could be good for me. I had the flush nut if a club would come up. Anyway, everyone decided to check here. So here, since I'm having like a pretty decent flop here, so I decided to put a bet of $30, which was around 1/3 of a pot. And now I'm getting check raised by the big blind of $75. Now, this guy often check raised. He had a monster, either a higher pair, a set, or anything else. So everyone decided to fold, and now the decision to me. So for only $45, there's no reason here to make the fold, and I even considered to make a raise here. But I needed to hit, and I know how he's playing, that he would still continue to put maximum pressure, even though if I had a club or if the turn would be favorable for me. So I just decided to make the call because I was in position. So I put the call of $75. The turn was a queen of clubs. So bingo, I hit my flush nut. And now he still decided to put the pressure, but it's not really pressure. He's decided to make a bet of $150 here. Now I'm trying to decide, should I put a re-raise here since he's probably having probably a set, 2 pairs, so I don't think he could fold, but I think he would have folded if I would have raised here on the turn. So since I'm in the position, I wanted to see what he would do on the river. So I just decided to make a call, and the river was a brick, a 9 of diamonds, so it didn't change a lot since it didn't pair. Good thing for me. And now he decided to check. Now an easy decision against this player is that you just have to send it, and I did it. And he think a little bit, and he thought I had the straight, had the flush, and he made the call as well anyway. And he showed 2 pair, a jack, 4 of spades. So now, even though I played like I had a flush, he still made the play, and that's why I like this kind of sessions, this kind of plays, because people tend to make you a lot of donation, even though they know that you had the nut. They don't like to get bluffed. So that's why you shouldn't bluff a lot of people, because even if you have it, you just have to wait to have it, and they will call anyway. So let's go for the next one. So for my next hand, I have king, queen of heart in the big blind position. There's 2 limpers. The low jack decided to put a bet of $8, small blind calls, and here my first mistake was that I called, and I should have raised pre-flop with that good hand of king, queen of heart. You should have raised pre-flop. But anyway, I made the call, and the 2 others made the call as well. The flop was a 7 of club, 8 of diamond, and 4 of spades. Now the small blind decided to put a donk bet since he didn't show some aggression. He wasn't the aggressor, I meant. So, and I know his play style, so he's probably only had a pair here, but anyway. So he bets $10. I decided to make a call with my top pair, and the low jack decided to call as well. The turn was a 9 of heart here. Now the small blind decided to put a bet 25, and since I know a bit his play, so I decided to raise it up at $60. And the low jack decided to fold, and the small blind decided to make the call. Now the river was a 5 of spades, and he dunk bet again. He put a bet of $50. Now, is he showing like 2 pairs? He's showing like a straight here with a 6-8. So he did a blocker bet. That was a good bet from him because I couldn't raise here, because what worse could call me? There's not a lot worse could call me. So I thought to myself, okay, now he's either trapping me and I got caught for his play. But anyway, with that decent of price of play, I cannot fold with my top pair. So I decided to make a call, and he shows Queen 3 offsuit, and I'm just like, oh my god, what is he playing? So my next hand was a good hand to end a session. I have ace 9 of heart in the bottom position. There's Ungun plus 1 decided to make a bet of $10, and we are 4 callers. There's no reason here to make a raise, another raise here, because as I told previously, there's not a lot of people who makes raise here. Anyway, I just have the position with decent cards. I just decided to make a call here. The flop was king of heart, king of spade, and a 3 of heart. Now this is a pretty decent flop for me because there's 2 hearts and I don't have the king, so someone could possibly have a king here. So everyone checks to me, and since I'm having the flush draw and don't have the king, so I think there's a reason to bet here. So I put a bet of $30, and only the undergun +1 decided to make the call. Now the turn was a 4 of heart. Bingo, I hit my flush nut. I'm having the flush. And since I don't have the king again, I think she probably had a king. But I got to be careful because if the river was closer to the king, I probably think she got a full house. So I got to be careful, but I want to make some money from the king. So I got to pump it up again. So she decided to check, and I put a bet of $75. She makes the call. The river was a 10 of diamond here, so it was a decent card. I don't think she checked, so she represented full house here. But since I'm having the flush nut draw, the flush nut, I have to bet. I have to bet and see if she raised me. Then I'm just like, okay, fine. I have to make a decision afterward, but I have to bet. I cannot just check here. There's no reason to check. So I decided to go for a higher bet because I know I wanted to tempt people to call with a king. So I put a bet of $200, and she decided to make the call, and I showed my flush, and she said she had a baby flush apparently, but I don't know the cards. So that's a nice win for me. So at the start of this session, it went really bad, and that can influence how you're going to move forward. Are you playing bad, or is just a cooler? And that's why in poker you gotta really make the distinction between emotions and logic plays. Because once you're playing emotionally and it does affect you how you're playing afterwards, you're just gonna play bad because you just seem to, oh no, this time I'm gonna win, this time I'm gonna win. But are you really gonna win? Or if you look at the math, you're probably not gonna win on this hand. So that's why you gotta play their emotion against themselves, so that's going to be your advantage. That's what I seem to do in these kind of live plays. That's why I love live plays, and that's why it's hard in online plays where I seem to always fail in online plays. I cannot even win, but in online plays I know more to win because I play their emotions against themselves, and I know more the tendency of how player playing. So I'm just very grateful for where I'm playing at for now, and I'm just happy for that. Anyway, for this session I was in for $1,100 and I was out for $1,875. So that's a win of $775. So that's a win in my book. I really appreciate that, even though at the start I was derailing and I didn't even know if I would make it, but I'm just super happy and grateful that I win. I have to be focused and just gotta be patient. Sometimes when you play sessions, you tend to lose, but you gotta tell you, is it because I'm losing because I'm a bad player, or is it because I'm losing because it's normal to lose? Sometimes you cannot be always a winner. Anyway, on behalf of that, see you on the next video.